Every time, dude. Every
I
time
know.
I'm all comfortable, and then you hit record. I'm all.
It's sort of like you're sitting there
Uh,
taking a shower, you turn around like a high school shower, and like everybody's staring at you, and it's like,
Yeah. Hello. The water
hello,
was cold.
get that out
there we
there,
go.
Get it
There we
out.
go.
Get it out.
Get it all out.
get it all out, just let it all hang out. That's it. So,
Yeah.
welcome back to Not a Strong Start, a podcast by filmmakers who talk movies, television, and love to hang it out. I'm your host, Daniel de Sangre.
I am Jose in space.
I'm Chuck.
I know we didn't do
Bernal.
nicknames.
I know. Damn it.
I forgot.
Jose
I'll come
in
up with
space.
something.
Oh, is that Lost in Space?
No, because every good franchise always goes to space, right?
It really does.
Ah.
Every good one does, yes.
Yeah.
So, in this week's topic, we're going to talk about franchises. Are they getting too stale? Are they thriving? Or should the franchise be put to bed and back in the retirement home? But first, we're going to hit them with a current event. Hit us, Jose. You're Jose.
Turn it back.
You're Jose. That's Jose. You're Jose.
Yeah, that's me.
That's him.
Right here.
Flashback.
Me.
Flashback.
Well, I felt the current event, it should be something that revolves around franchise, since we are going to be talking about it today.
Mhm.
So now that all the legal battles are pretty much in the background and everyone's got their part, they're working supposedly on the Friday the 13th reboot by the director, Sean Cunningham of the original. Of course, they're going to have to navigate around the legal aspects because basically the writer of the original owns everything that's in the first movie. And then, Chuck and them, they own everything else that came in this, the sequels and all that stuff. So the writer owns, I think, the name Jason. I think they own the one, they own Crystal Lake, all of that stuff. While like Sean Cunningham, they own the hockey mask. They own like basically the more supernatural, like Jason. All that stuff. It's a whole mess. But anyway, supposedly they're gonna, besides the TV series that's gonna come out called Crystal Lake, Sean Cunningham supposedly they're gonna work on a movie, kind of a reboot, like they did with Child's Play with Chucky, where they did a reboot, changed it up a little bit because they don't own the rights for the original, and they're gonna try to make an arrangement with the old writer to try to use some of that stuff. But if not, they are willing to go forward and just reinvent the first movie. What are you guys' thoughts?
How do you can't name him Jason then? If you don't get the right to call him Jason Voorhees, then who is he? What is he? Just a mysterious boogeyman that looks like him, but they never actually use a name? You know what I'm saying?
They'll have to be creative. It's like again, for the Child's Play, they didn't call him Chucky in the new one. He was Buddy. So they switched it up a little bit. So they'll have to get creative like that, where they kind of change the origin a little bit.
Dang, it's sort of like having a Nightmare on Elm Street, but not ever calling him Freddy Krueger. You know what I mean? Essentially, like, it's just weird because even though he's the big bulking Jason with the mask, the Jason Voorhees, the kid, the one that ended up drowning, is so important as a backstory to him. And if you can't use Camp Crystal Lake, then in my opinion, that's not a freaking Jason movie. Like, you have to have Camp Crystal Lake in the movie. Otherwise, just like you have Batman, you can't have a Batman movie without Gotham City. Like, that's a true Batman movie. So it's just good luck. Good luck to the writers. I don't see how it's going to happen. I mean, how you can do it without getting some kind of rights, but what do you think?
Yeah, that's pretty rough. I don't know how I would feel about that, watching it, knowing that they're skipping over all these things and kind of just ignoring. It's like, so who's this dude? Where are we at? We're at some lake. Is it camp? Like, are they at a river? Are they at a dam? I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
Can they go to a lake still, or?
Well, that's the thing with it, and it's like hopefully, like I said, they're gonna try supposedly to work it out with both sides so they can use everything and have everything at their disposal, but they are willing to move forward if they can't. They can still do a camp they probably would just have to avoid calling it Crystal Lake, so they can still do a lake and a camp. Since in the original it was the mother, and you see kid Jason. So technically they can't use kid Jason, but they can use adult one, but they probably can't call him Jason Voorhees. So it might be a way where they can do it where the victims just don't refer to him by name because he doesn't talk. So he's not going to be like, I'm Jason, bitch, I'm coming.
So it'll be like, oh, we heard that can they say like we heard some lady killed people and then her son ended up coming back, and
you could probably say it. Yeah, you just can't show it, I assume.
But he can't. And so there was no hockey mask in the first one, or does he own that too?
He gets that in the second one.
Yeah, so they have the hockey mask.
They have the hockey mask. Okay.
They have the adult Jason look because pretty much everything after the first movie they have.
Okay. The iconic Camp Crystal Lake, that logo on the t-shirts, that's so important to me. Who owns the right? Was that in the first one?
If they show it in the first one, then they would be part of the first one.
I don't know.
And I know they have the name Crystal Lake. I'm sure they have anything that says Crystal Lake will belong to the original writer. So like I said, if they do it where it's just this mysterious like killer that's been taking out people in there, they don't know his name. They has no name. He doesn't say his own name because he doesn't talk.
What about Crystal Camp?
I guess it would probably Crystal Camp. It probably depends how much the other side wants to get into litigation again, because they just spent years in it.
Here you
How
go.
about Camp Crystal Man-Made Lake? You already knew it was coming, Chuck.
Here we go.
Let's see how stupid this is. Reservoir. I mean, Camp Crystal Reservoir. It's so stupid. Camp Crystal Dam. Like, I don't know, man. It's not promising.
It's annoying the way this happens. Like I said, with Child's Play, they made it work. I actually liked the reboot, and then you have the TV show, which was able to have access to everything. So it's almost the same thing where one side owns the original movie, one side owns everything else. So we'll see how creative they get with it, because people want Friday the 13th content.
Yeah.
And we don't know if that TV show is going to be enough when it comes out. People are going to want a movie. So how willing are both sides to work together?
I have a question and possibly recommendation. Are they doing it where every season there's like a new group of like counselors and then they swap them out every season? Because that'd be kind of interesting, where who's going to survive? Are they all going to die? And you kind of see who's getting killed off each episode. Like, that'd be...
From what they said, they haven't gotten into that much detail going in, but the plan is if the show is successful and it continues multiple seasons, we're supposedly going to see the whole journey of Jason. The show might not start off with Jason. It might start off with the camp and the mother and all of that stuff. And eventually, by the time they get further in the seasons, we might see adult Jason. That's what they're kind of hinting at right now.
I feel like you're hinting at that's what we're going to film when you show up, and you're going to play Jason because you're the tallest.
Yes. Exactly.
See, look at that. Look at that acting. You see that?
That's why he's Jose in space. He's already made for this.
But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But this franchise right now, kind of on life support. It's been on life support for a while. But let's get into some other franchises that are still going, for better or for worse. Now, you two guys tell me if you agree with me. The way I look at franchises and the way that I picked for this is it's got to be a franchise that has been going for a while, is considered active. So if you released a movie like 10, 15 years ago, and it's like, there's another one coming, but you haven't released anything in a while, I don't count that. So this is more, consider them active franchises. The first one, we'll start with a smaller franchise that's kind of still going, the VHS franchise. I believe we're like 5-6 movies deep right now.
Jesus, is that
This
many?
is like yeah, because you had like I think the first 3, then you had like the viral, I think VHS 99, I think or
Oh,
something came
yeah.
out like last year. And
They
there's
didn't have
another one
VHS in
coming.
'99. We're DVDs already.
Or it might be VHS 80. I don't know. It's a date as
Nah,
part of the
they were still
title.
VHS in '99.
Yeah.
There's still VHS today.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Kevin,
that's
Kevin has a whole account based off that.
Never gonna rag on Kevin now. First it
I
was Minnie,
know.
now Kevin.
I mean, they're right next door to each other. You know, it's just
Yeah.
it just separate. It just spreads over.
we do this to test if they're actually listening to our podcast. So if they message us like, "What the hell were you saying about me?" then we know. Oh, thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. And if they're not listening, to all of our friends that watch our podcast, just know you're all fair game. It means you have to continue to listen to us and call us out when we make fun of you. Them's the
So
rules.
going into the VHS franchise, I haven't seen all of them. I haven't seen the last one. I think I saw the first 3 and I saw Viral, but I haven't seen the last one. Have you guys watched any,
I saw
some,
the first one and I was done. I moved on to DVDs after that.
I saw the first one. I think I saw the second and I saw the Viral one. I didn't see any of the other ones. I'm surprised it's still a thing. Like
I didn't even know.
Going on.
Didn't even know it was still a thing.
Yeah. It has a following. I mean, my opinion on it, it's an anthology series, so it's the same thing with all anthologies. I can't think of an anthology that was 100% like good. You're gonna get good and you're gonna get bad within it because it's all these little short. I do enjoy the fact that it's always these different directors that kind of change the horror style from story to story. And being a horror fan, I do enjoy that. The first one and the second one probably still have the best stories from what I've seen. From my personal experience, it seems to be going kind of downhill over time, kind of becoming like a paranormal activity that it just kind of got worse and worse as it went on.
Sorry, Marie.
Yeah, so that's
she's next. She's next on the hit list. We're just waiting for George to come up.
If you disagree, Marie, comment down below.
She actually listens, though. I expect her to comment.
I know. But yeah, I mean that's my opinion on the VHS. I think it's slowly dying, but it also doesn't look like it's an expensive project to put out there, kind of like Paranormal Activity was. So maybe the return on investment is high enough that they keep churning them out because they're easy. But what do you guys think?
Dead on arrival, dude. Just done. Done. I don't know why they made a second one, even if it was decent. Then after that, I don't know why they made a third. And they made a fourth and a fifth.
There's another one coming.
Yeah, the only sequel I like is the what was it called? Do you remember what it's called, Jose? The one with the Latino cast? It was Marked Ones, I think, or something.
That's Paranormal Activity.
Oh, wait, what franchise are we talking about right now?
VHS.
Oh, are we still talking about VHS?
Yeah. Dude,
I already skipped that chapters.
That answers your question, Jose.
Yeah.
Dan's he checked out,
that
dude.
was weeks ago, mother trucker. I thought we moved on to Paranormal. I'm good with VHS.
Yeah, Dan moved on. That means it's time for everybody to move on from VHS, dude.
Let's segue. That's what that is. That's segueing to the next one.
So I thought it was best to start with the weakest one, and obviously that was the right decision on that one.
So Jose chooses VHS, but doesn't want to bring up Indiana Jones.
VHS is actually still releasing things. Your comment by Indiana Jones is like, oh, they had video games in the 80s and 90s, and I think they have literature.
Well, it's Dan. He read the book. He's like, I read all those books. They got some literature. I read them all already.
I read 3 books of Indiana Jones.
What decade?
I swear I really did.
Dan's just making up content so we can throw in Indiana Jones. Like,
Hey, add it for the
I think they had
tags.
a newspaper article like last week. Like, we gotta include.
So
You
I
know
read
what? You're
this
right.
literature. It was like choose your own adventure of Indiana Jones. I'm like, I read that, bro. It's there.
Oh, I love Choose Your Own Adventure. Those were so fun.
Oh,
So
man.
good.
They were.
Let's stick with that same director and let's move on to Jurassic Park franchise. You want to start us off, Chuck?
Yeah.
Go to him.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one because I enjoy them, but they're not. I'm always disappointed. You know, like the last one, Dominion. Was it Dominion?
Yeah.
It was hard to enjoy it. I watched it in the movies and I was like, I wanted it to be over. And it had Chris Pratt, it had all the old characters. Like, I should have not wanted that movie to be over. I should have been like, yes, there's still more. But I was like, wrap it up, B. Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. And they need to chill for a little bit, I think. That's what I think. They need to chill, not make anything for 10 years, maybe. I don't know. Maybe when I'm 50, I'll like it. I don't know. So,
Yeah.
I mean, 40, 10 years.
They need a Demolition Man it where they just put it on ice for like 50 years.
Maybe put those dinosaurs back on ice, dude.
Yeah, man. I love dinosaurs. So Jurassic Park 1, yes. The Lost World was okay. It had some cool iconic scenes, you know, with the double trailer hanging off the cliff and all that. And then the first Lost World, or not Lost World, I'm sorry, Jurassic
right.
World.
No, Jurassic World. Oh,
yeah.
You're Jurassic World.
It was okay. It was decent. But other than that, man, they've just been so bad. I don't have any. I think I pitched on one of our old episodes, right? Like what they could have done, like to kind of make it a little more interesting in Jurassic Park if they did like a spin-off or something like that, or some kind of alternate movie. It's just no, man. Like they're not getting it right, and they're making it too commercial, which is what the first one, even though the first one was very commercial, Steven Spielberg shot it. There was a lot of elements that felt kind of like a horror. You know what I mean? With certain things of it, and we're not getting any of that. It feels so bubblegum. The characters don't feel like there's really any threat at all. Like at all. I'm not worried about any of them dying ever.
Yeah.
And the last one was like that. Like nobody really died. Like nobody died. And it was just like, no, I'm good.
You know what? They need to get like a really good up and coming director. Give them a $50 million budget and a good writer.
Yes.
And I bet you that'd be better than the last three.
Yep, I 100% agree with you because there's so many. You're dealing with like a world that's like there's so much you can work with this.
Yeah,
you just got to tell it differently, man. Like go pray with it. You know what I mean? Like
and
they
smaller,
kept giving go smaller. Give us a unique twist on a storyline with it. Set the world and the stakes smaller, but just make the threat feel so much more real. Like do that, and I'll be into it.
Yeah, give us like one or two dinosaurs that like 3 or 4 people are dealing with.
That's it.
You know,
like 1 or 2 velociraptors. That's it.
Yeah,
you're stuck in the field. Make it small scale. They're trying to survive. Boom. I'll watch that.
I'll watch that too. Now I know what we're filming. Jose's the Velociraptor. Let's go, Jose. Let's see your raptor. Let's see your raptor, Jose. Come on.
Air quotes. He's doing air quotes. These are my talents.
Rawr.
Rawr. Look at that. That's acting right there.
That's acting. That's Jose. That's acting.
That's Jose. That's him. You're Jose.
Honestly, with this one, give it the Lenny treatment. Have it look away and just give it one in the back. This one, it needs to go. The first one is a classic, amazing, still holds up to this point. The second one was bad. The third one was worse. Then Jurassic World came, and it was only good because it reminded you of the first one. Then the second one was bad, and the third one was worse. So it's like, no, like that's it. I love dinosaurs, love the original one. Let it die. You know what? Just give me. I've moved on to 65. Yeah. All right, I'll have that. Give me the dinosaurs that I need. Jurassic Park needs to end.
Give me that.
Yeah.
Yes.
No more of this. It needs to go. This is a dying that needs to die.
Yes.
Two deads in a row. Got it.
Yeah. All right. Going on to the next one. The 007 franchise, which just ended Daniel Craig's his little run with it, and now they're looking for the next one. So we're probably gonna get another 3 or 4 movies for the next actor if it's successful. What do you guys think?
So I like 007. I like the idea of 007. There's some like diehard 007 fans that have seen every movie of the franchise. There's like 20 something movies, right? Like 28, 30, something like that. I haven't seen them all. I've seen some. The ones that are good are really, really good, but it's so oversaturated that there's a lot of duds in there or some that are just really bad. Um, but the Daniel Craig ones did pretty good, but it also felt kind of like they kind of went Jason Bourne. You know what I mean? They went very Jason Bourne with it, which was cool and it was interesting. And it kind of worked like the way that Ben Affleck's Batman did. Like, oh, you're giving us a different interpretation of this character. I'm cool with it. Now that they're doing a new one, I don't see them copying the Daniel Craig one. It sounds like they're trying to go suave again. So I don't know because the I don't know. I'm not really sure. Like, what are they going to give us that's unique and different that we haven't already seen?
Yeah, and you're right. The only thing that's different is the actor. So if you like the actor who's playing, you'll go watch it because it's all kind of the same movie, except for like we talked about before. Casino Royale is, dope. Like it was awesome. But other than that, they're kind of all the same, which is why I haven't really seen any of them. And he's not gonna die. So it's like it just depends to me. The only thing that changes is the actor, and it depends if you like the actor or not, if you're gonna watch it, or who the villain is, maybe.
Yeah.
So. And I haven't. The only one I saw Casino Royale. I saw Spectre or something. That one was kind of and then Skyfall I thought was really good, and then I was done.
Did you ever
I think
see
I walked
Quantum of
out of the other
Solace?
one, the one with Javier Bardem or
Oh
Dave
yeah.
Bautista was in it.
Is that
Anyways, I
Quantum of
walked.
Solace? I think that was the Quantum of Solace one.
Yeah, I walked out of that one. I went in, I had my hot dog nachos, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good, and I bailed. It was just boring. Like it was the same thing, and I was like,
And that's something too, because it's like if you're going action, well, we have our Mission Impossible. If you want to go gritty, we have our John Wicks.
yeah.
So 007 was always like the cool playboy, suave, smooth. And that's really the only angle that they have that other action movies don't. But we're now in an era where we like violence. And if they go super violent, that's not really 007 anymore. Now it feels like you're copying the other
And
one.
it's
You're
like
copying
it's like
Mission
stuck in the
Impossible.
middle. Like John Wick
It
is
is.
Jack in the Box, Mission Impossible is Cheesecake Factory, and James Bond is Denny's. It's like I'm not like if we're gonna sit down and eat, let's just go to Cheesecake. Oh, I want to eat
But
real
yo,
quick.
they got
Let's
the
just
mind.
let's just go to Jack. Like
It's a late night
I-
snacks pack.
Out of
yeah.
all the places you could have gave John Wick, you gave it Jack in the Box.
Dude, Jack in the Box is bomb, dude. Jack, John, I don't know, dude.
You can get egg
I-
rolls and you can get tacos. Like you
Yeah,
combine
and a
all these different types of
cheeseburger and
food.
fries and a breakfast sandwich. John Wick.
At 10 p.m., you get a breakfast sandwich at 10 p.m.
Yeah, exactly.
That's John Wick.
I was sitting with 007. I hear what you guys are saying. That's a really good point. What I feel about it is like with the Pierce Brosnan version, like I feel it progressively got more tired as it got along and it just kind of went downhill. In there, and the franchise kind of died. I do feel Daniel Craig's run kind of revitalized the 007. Started off really strong. It did have some ones that were some in there that weren't on the caliber as Casino Royale, but I feel it ended well. And it was the first James Bond that was kind of 3-dimensional. It wasn't, your stereotypical James Bond that was depth to this character. So I feel like they just ended on a high, and it's hard to say, okay, kill it off and end it when they're at a high. Now, if this next one doesn't start well with the first one, then I can see it being like, okay, it might be time, even though they will probably never stop making James Bond movies.
Okay, but I have a question for you, Jose.
Mhm.
do you get more out of Mission Impossible sequels than you do 007 sequels?
Oh, 100%.
There you go. And if you want super action, you go John Wick. That's my point, is that these movies have leaned into what their strength is, and 007 feels like they're kind of leaning towards other ways. And Daniel Craig, I love what they did with it, but if they keep going down that direction, it's like, well, Mission Impossible kind of already does this with the cool gadgets, but over the top action set pieces. So that's kind of why I'm like, well, you kind of need to do something different then and have your own mark. But your own mark is the cool, suave thing. But we've seen this so many times.
Denny's.
Moon's over my hammy.
I was
Oh,
just
yes.
gonna say that, dude. You know what? I almost said Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. And I'm like, no, that's IHOP. And then it clicked, and then you said it.
See, I change it up though. I do a Moons over my bakey all the time. I have the ham switch with bacon. I've been doing
There
that
you
since
go.
I was in high school. I'm like, yeah.
Wait,
so
you
good.
still eat there, dude?
No, I mean, I haven't gone in years, but
I don't.
IHOP? I like IHOP. IHOP's not bad.
yeah, I helps crap too.
Omelets. I like their omelets.
Make sure we tag both of them in this.
Yeah.
So
About how we're just crapping on their food.
Yeah.
Since we mentioned it, the next franchise would be the Mission Impossible franchise, which has at least two movies coming up. It's a two-parter, so it's basically one story split into two.
Very rare that a franchise gets better with every installment. And I feel like that's happening with Mission Impossible. Like, if it's not just as good as the one before, it's better. And I've enjoyed every single one except the second one. And then it started off again. I think J.J. Abrams did the third one, and it just took off from there. And then they're still good. And he's doing crazier stunts. They're still awesome. And I don't think he's going to die in a movie. We talked about it. He's probably going to die in a stunt before he dies in the actual movie. So keep going. I say keep going. So
yeah, I agree with you. Which is ironic because it seems like something that that I normally would say, okay, you need to stop. How long is this guy going to keep doing it? It feels tired. It feels this, but they keep outdoing themselves. And that's sort of what I meant about the 007 comparison, is because Mission Impossible started off as a very spy film, right? Then the second one, I don't even really know what the second one was. They were trying different stuff with it. The third one, J.J. Abrams went more action, and that's when they figured out, okay, this is what we need to do. And then they started leaning into it, and then they found their mark with it. So even though they've had 6 movies, when they finally found their groove with 3, it felt like it's sort of reset, and it feels like it's almost like it's new franchise now with 3 through the current one.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I don't feel like it's as tired, because if you were to watch the first one, it's not even really the same movie. You know what I'm saying?
It's more of a thriller. It's not an action movie.
Yeah,
it's
Brian De Palma
movie.
did the first one. And so it was a very Brian De Palma movie with the shots and like the shots that are like from the bottom of the corner. Like it was a thriller, it was.
So in a way, the first and 2 aren't even really part of the same franchise. Like that's kind of what it feels like to me. So we're only coming up on, okay, you've done about 4. Now you're only coming up with 5 and 6, but they keep outdoing themselves, and you see how they're leaning into it. I don't know if John Wick is on your list or not, so I won't even talk too much about that one, but they found their mark and they set up these obstacles that are only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And they have a story that they haven't completed yet. And I want to see where it goes. So they've done a very masterful job with this Mission Impossible. In my opinion, they saved it after the second one. J.J. Abrams saved it, and they found their groove.
Keep it going until Tom Cruise can't walk anymore, or into his
until he dies doing a stunt.
Or whatever aliens he worships come back to like pick him up and take him to transcendency or wherever it is that he's going.
Uranus.
So just keep it going. I can't think of another franchise that has gone this long and only have one dud in it. And
Nightmare on Elm Street.
I mean, I love the series, but it had more than one dud in it.
Yeah.
So, but Yeah, it had one done. It keeps getting stronger. The last one is probably one of my top favorite action movies, and it's the sixth one in
Is
this
that the
series.
one where they're in the mountains and the girl
Fallout.
and then his ex-wife is there?
Yeah, with Henry
Yep.
Cavill.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill,
Superman.
God, he's so good in that, dude.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like you
the
brought in
iconic
Superman.
the warm up, the
Yeah.
shotgun arms,
the warm up. Dan, you got to shave the rest of this and just go Henry Cavill Mission Impossible, bro.
Just a stash.
Then
Dude,
we
his
can
stash was
CGI it off.
yeah. That's
for
how
the next
good his
episode.
stash was. Is that it ruined another movie because he had to keep
Yes.
it. That's
It
how
was that
good it
iconic.
was.
And you know what? It was worth it, Chuck. It was worth it.
It really was.
Yeah, he needed that
Second.
stash. Yeah, man.
So Mission Impossible is keep thriving.
Yep.
On that one.
Yeah, keep going.
Keep it going.
Yeah, moving away from action for this one, let's move more into horror, and we have the Conjuring universe. Let's just call it the Conjuring because you've got the series with the spin-offs and all of that. How are you guys feeling about that? Dying, thriving, keep it going, kill it off.
It's not dying and it's not thriving. Some of them died, right? Just like Mission Impossible, there was one that wasn't good. Like the Nun and what, like those aren't very good, I don't think. To me, what are their couple's name? What are their names?
The Warrens.
The Warrens. If they can keep it centered around them, I'm okay with it. Like I feel like they're the heart and soul of that whole kind of like franchise. And I like them. They're both super charismatic. Like they're good. So, but I'm a horror fan, so I want it to keep going. You know, I think people who are like non-horror, they'd probably be like, that's done. That's done. But I say keep going.
Yeah.
Until we
I
get two
kinda-
bad ones in a row. And then we're done.
It's a tough one for me because I feel Conjuring did for horror what Scream did for horror. It came in the first one when horror was kind of at a low and dying. The Conjuring kind of revitalized horror again, gave it one of those spikes after. So it's hard to say a series that did that to die, but none of the spin-offs are good. Not one of the spin-offs are good. They for as good as the core series has been, the spin-offs have been horrible in general. All the nuns, maybe the last Annabelle was passable. The Annabelle like prequel, I mean, that one was passable, but the Annabelles have been a failure. The Nun was a failure. I don't even know La Llorona is part of it, but that was a failure. I'm throwing that in there. And then
Yeah.
and while the core series has been going strong, even though the third one it showed a little bit of regression from the first two. I say if you keep going, stick with the core series. There's enough Warren cases from their files to kind of do other stuff. Just give up on the spin-offs. It's not working. So I say I'm in the middle, half die, half live.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the spin-offs.
Stick to
Keep
the
going with
Warrens.
the core series.
Yeah.
Stick with the Warrens, like you were saying. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I was gonna say the same thing. The Conjuring itself hasn't had a dud yet, in my opinion. They've been solid. Their chemistry is really good. The spinoffs have not been. I see why they were doing it. They just haven't nailed any of them, man. Like none of them have been good. I know you said the Annabelle prequel, it was okay, but okay is not good enough for me. So just keep it to the Conjuring, so that way it's not overly saturated, and just give us good content and leave it at that. But I like the Warrens, so give me more. So yeah.
I think one of my things with the prequels, because like even the Nun, when the Nun was part of the major series, the Nun was creepy.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, that's a creepy character. Yeah, it just didn't work in its own movie. It just lost all that creepiness was gone. It just became ridiculous. I found myself kind of laughing at the movie.
Like the Jane Silent Bob of horror.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I do feel some of those because it wasn't Juan with the spin-offs. It was other directors.
Yeah.
And I feel a lot of the time they were trying too much to emulate what was being done with the main series instead of doing its own thing, and I think it kind of suffered from that because it was like someone else imitating someone else's style. So
Yeah. I mean, you also understand why they did because they're trying to fit the tone and they probably felt like, well, the fan base is already there. They're going to expect similar things. So I get it. But like you said, it just didn't feel natural to the filmmakers that they chose and it just didn't quite work.
okay. Yeah, I think Chuck nailed it in the head. I think what's driving the main series is going to be, it's kind of like with Supernatural, where it kept going because of the Winchesters, the brothers. They were enough to carry it regardless of the content. I think the Warrens are that. It's if you keep going with them, like Chuck was saying, they can carry it regardless of the content.
Fanatic, right?
The main series,
Yes.
keep that thriving.
Okay,
Yeah. Spinoffs.
Kill
Yeah.
off the spin-offs
got it.
on that. Now, the next one is the series that keeps promising to die but not die. The Purge on this. It's always the last one, but it's never the last one. And supposedly rumors are out there that even though the last one was the last one of the last ones, and it's not the last one because we have another last one coming.
The first Purge is really good, but it's like I got it already. Like other than that, you're giving me nothing creative, nothing new. The first one was creative, you know, the concept was interesting. Now it's just the same thing over and over, and the concept isn't interesting enough to see it regurgitated over and over and over. So, no, kill it.
Yeah, I liked the first one. I actually liked the second one because it was a little bit different, where they were kind of fighting back. They had Grillo in it. He's like an action dude. I liked it. I think they could have been done after that though. So I think for me, it's done. Purge it.
Purge.
Is that right?
Nice.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
All right.
All right. Yeah, no, the Purge, and I think I've seen all of them. It's
Of course you
become kind
have.
of yeah,
Of course you have, dude.
but it's become kind of like Final Destination for me, where it was like they weren't good movies as they went along, but it's like there's nothing else on. I want to watch it just to see how they take out people. You
Yeah.
know, is there new creative ways that they take out people? And that's the only reason you're watching, not because they're good movies going forward. And that's what The Purge came out. So I'm also on board of just end it, cut the TV series, cut the movies. When you say last, make sure it's your last. Familia, Fast and the Furious, which we're going
Done.
on to 10 right now.
Done.
Chuck's favorite series in the world.
Done. Honestly, when I look back at it, there was a couple of good, like I love Tokyo Drift. I know we talked about this. I love Tokyo Drift. But after Paul Walker died, I was done. I literally have not seen any of them since. I watched like 20 minutes of one. I watched like 15 minutes of another one. I didn't watch the spin-off. Once Paul Walker was out, I was done. I think for the most part, I watched it for him, obviously. So it just wasn't the same. Like it just wasn't the same. Like yeah, I liked Paul Walker, but like their chemistry, Brian, like it wasn't Fast and the Furious anymore. It was just Vin Diesel's
Yeah.
ego and space, and I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm done.
you,
I'm done with all of them. So,
you like Tokyo Drift that does not have Paul Walker?
yeah, yeah, I do. I like that one. It was
Yeah.
the Karate Kid with cars.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan?
I don't know if I'm a good person to really speak on this much because I saw the first one, I saw like the first few, and then I just haven't really watched any of them. So I'm just disinterested in it. The first one is still like a decent movie, but it was like a real Fast and like the movie is so different than where it went. They went very Mission Impossible on us, and it's an entirely different movie. Like it again, they did what Mission Impossible did. They sort of like pivoted what their franchise went. But like I don't care. I don't care
Dude,
about any of those
they literally
things
went from stealing DVDs
to go into space.
to going to space.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just not the target audience. I don't care.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I do feel you make a good point that it's like they sort of did try to do a similar formula to what Mission Impossible did, just
Mhm.
without the results. You know, what it started with the first one is completely different than where it ended up. It also had a bad sequel, a bad second one.
Mhm.
So far they're on par doing the same thing on that. Except while Mission Impossible got better in the third one and took off, it's been rocky for Fast and the Furious. The third one, I mean, I know Chuck is a fan. I'm not a fan of it. And then I think it was finally maybe 4 or 5 where, okay, it kind of got good again. You know, they brought in The Rock and then that added some freshness to it. And then it was good for like 2 movies. And then while Mission Impossible continues to up the stakes gradually, where they're giving you a little bit more each movie, Fast and the Furious said, "We're Fast and the Furious, but gradually. We're going to jump like 4 steps every movie." To the point that now they're literally going into space because they have nothing left to do
On
at
Earth.
all. Yeah, on Earth. Like,
They have nothing left to do on Earth, so they're in
yeah,
space.
Yeah.
there's nothing to do. It just got like the last Fast and the Furious, I went in knowing I'm gonna have to suspend disbelief in it because that's what the Fast and the Furious is. But the last one took it to such a level that I was like, "This is too much, too much, too much disbelief here." I'm like, I can't. This one needs to die 3 movies ago.
Yeah.
Like, go back in time and then end it. Like, forget the next one. Go back in time and eliminate the last 2 movies.
Yeah, and I would even say like the characters, at least to me, they're just not really as likable. Like Vin Diesel, I'm not a huge Vin Diesel fan. I'm
Tyrese.
not a huge Tyrese fan. Loved him in Baby Boy, but like I don't I'm just not really a huge fan of the guy. So I like The Rock, but you see like all the ugliness that we heard in the tabloids
Yeah.
about Vin
All of
Diesel,
them.
like all of them against The Rock. Like I like The Rock. So I'm Team Rock. So I'm like, you guys treated my boy bad. Like I just I
Yeah.
don't
I
vibe
think
with them.
Tyrese too was complaining about being broke because he wanted them to start filming. It was after Paul Walker died. And he
Yeah.
was like, "Yo, we need to start filming. I gotta, I got child." I'm like, dude, your boy
Yeah.
just died. Like
Oh yeah, he got mad at The Rock because he accepted doing Hobbs and Shaw,
that too.
and that delayed the next Fast and the Furious and stuff. And he was like, "I'm hungry, like I need my money." And
And
so
it's also an ego stab because that tells you you guys weren't good enough anymore. You guys need The Rock. That's
Yeah.
essentially what it is because they couldn't
yeah,
film without The Rock. The studio's like, nope, we need to wait for The Rock. So you guys need to wait for him to do a spinoff. That's an ego that they took too. And it's just,
you know what's one of the big glaring out of many glaring issues of the Fast and the Furious is that they completely, as they've gone further along, they've eliminated all stakes. There is no stakes at all
Yeah.
because
Everybody's coming back.
everyone that they've killed off in earlier movies has come back, and then supposedly
how?
for the next one they're gonna bring Gal Gadot back, who died in like the fourth or the
How?
fifth one. They always put in some scene where they like retroactive explain how someone
Oh,
survived,
really?
which is like, yeah. So
Yeah.
they've brought back multiple characters that have died
3 now.
before. Yeah.
Han, Letty,
Oh
and
yeah, Letty.
Gail Gadot, like all 3 of them. And those were like impactful deaths, like
Okay. Would you guys have buy what they fed you, or if they just said, oh, we cloned them? Would you have bought that more? Be like,
I
that's
would
more
rather go with the
believable.
clone. I'm like, they
Yeah.
cloned him. I'm like, okay, I'll buy
Yeah.
that. But this
Yeah.
like Han like dying and exploding, and then all of a sudden, like, nah. And they didn't even really show it, right? Like I watched that part because I didn't see that movie. I'm like, how did they do this? I need to know. I love Han.
They think
And
they're more clever than what they are, and they think that we are dumb. This is a franchise that does not give credit to the audience intelligence at all.
Or are
So
we just not the target audience and the audience that is just like demanding these movies
like Han's
fall for
back.
it?
Woo!
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
like, how did he come back? Who cares? He's back.
Who cares,
Okay.
bro? Eat your
Okay.
popcorn. Okay.
Yeah. All
I mean,
right. Smoke more weed,
someone's
bro.
watching
You'll
them.
make sense. Like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Shut up, idiot.
someone's watching them because they're doing well. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs to
uh,
crash and burn.
so for the next one, go back to horror, and Marie, since you're most likely listening, you can leave your comments down below. But Halloween, the Halloween series, which
I
we
thought you were gonna
just
say Blair Witch and Paranormal. You know what? Let's throw them all in there. Blair
no,
Witch, Halloween, Paranormal. That's it. You're all done. You're all done.
Yes. Burn.
Marie, get your tattoo removed now. It's done.
Throw
It's
it in the
over.
grinder. Throw those movies
Yeah.
in the grinder. Dude, Blair Witch should never have gotten a sequel. It made no sense. Just it should have ended after the first one, and it was what it was. Paranormal, again, after the first one, like I get it. If you wanted to, no good. And then Michael Myers, like the fact that they're trying different things, I get it, but you're not doing just because you're trying different things doesn't mean much. Like it's a risk, and you are failing miserably at what you're doing, and it's just no.
For the record, I do like Marie's tattoo, but the movie I don't like. I like Han Solo, didn't like Star Wars. Sorry, Marie.
Yeah, it's hard with the Halloween thing. It's such an iconic character, so it was like you want to see more from this character, but the product that we're getting on screen is just not worth it. So it doesn't have to be a permanent death, but you need to just let this go for a while. There's other starving horror franchises out there that should be getting movies. We haven't had a Nightmare on Elm Street movie for a while after the last failure, but Halloween gets a crappy movie every like 3 years. So, might be time after the last one to just do like Chuck's Light and just let it fall and die.
Yes.
This is me.
It is a bear.
No lighting. This is the real me, everybody. This is
Unfiltered.
the real me. Yeah.
But no, Halloween. I'm in full agreement with you guys. After the disaster that was the last one, I don't want to see another one for a very long time. If we do get another one, Terminator.
That's a tough one because they've been all pretty bad. But I did like the last one, but I never did.
I did too.
I didn't want to watch it again though. But I liked it. I did like it, and it had a Latino in it. It had a Latino Terminator. But
it's funny that you say that because I felt the exact same way. I watched it and I was like, this is pretty good. And I have no desire to have gone back. And I don't know why that is. So was it that good? Or were we just so used to like bottom barrel that it was like mid? And we were like, this is amazing.
Oh, why are we not going back? This is so good.
Like, why are we not going back? Like, why are we not going back?
Yeah. I think I bought it too, and I never watched it again.
Jose, why do we not go back?
I don't know. That's a very good question because I did enjoy it. I saw it at a screening before it came out, and I remember I saw it with, I think it was with Kevin, and we came out and we're like, oh, that was actually pretty good. Like it was not. But it's true. I never had the desire to go see it again. Maybe because since I did enjoy it and I was so traumatized from the other ones that I was like, I don't want to see it again and find flaws.
Yes,
let me keep this good memory of it.
Yeah,
I don't even know what it's called.
I don't remember.
Dark Fate? No, it's that Transformers. What Dark Fate pop in my head?
It's I don't know, but I felt like if this one would have been released,
Dark Fate. It is Dark Fate.
Is it? Okay.
So if this one would have been released after the second one and it was just that trilogy, I would have been content with that as the third one and end the franchise. There's just not much else you can really do with it. I mean, there is stuff you can do with the franchise. They just haven't done it yet. And if they were to do like a Terminator series, that might be somewhat interesting.
They did.
We did.
Did they?
The Sarah Connor Chronicles with Cersei, right?
I think they need to end it. I think the only way I want to see it revived again is if we stop with this whole going back to the past thing. I want the next one to be in the future, stick to the future, show me this war that you've been talking about so much, and just go from there. And then if you're going to do a series or do multiple movies, have them all take place there. We've already done sending a robot to the past to kill someone to prevent something in the future. You've tried it multiple times. It only worked twice.
Mhm.
No, it's not going to work anymore. Just give me the future. Show me the war. I want to see humans, robots going at it. Give me that.
Did you guys ever do the Terminator 2 ride at Universal? That was fun. But they had like
Yeah, I like
live
that.
actors that
The
came
live,
out. I thought that
yeah,
was
and
really
then he
cool.
comes up on the motorcycle and stuff.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
oh dang, that was cool. I like
That was
it.
dope. I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
They
That
don't
was
have
the
it
best
anymore, huh?
sequel after the second. That was the best sequel after the second one. No, I think they have it at. They used to have it at Orlando, and I don't know if they still have it or not.
You know, Salvation could have been good. It
It
could have been
wasn't
really good.
terrible. It wasn't
I liked
terrible.
it, but it could have been.
Christian
It had
Bale,
like
yeah.
McG directed it, and
Bale.
But all right, that's the last one we have here. What's on everyone's queue?
Terminator Dark Fate. I'm gonna watch it again.
Nice.
Is that what it's called?
You have to let us know if your rating goes down for it.
Please
Okay,
let me know
right
if I need to
now
go
I
back.
think I give it like a B plus or an A minus, B plus, A minus, B plus right now.
I think I was at an 8.
Yeah.
So probably about the same, about a B-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
about
like
the
an 8.
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a
So I
while.
want to watch it again, and I'll let you guys know. Like,
Okay. Good.
Right,
I'll
Dan?
go. I recommend the John Wick trilogy. I just rewatched about 2-3 days ago. Awesome, man. I don't remember. I remember I had seen the third one, but it's been a while, and I didn't remember it that well. So when I went back and rewatched them all, I had like a new resound like appreciation and like excitement for the new one coming out. So I recommend it. John Wick, man. Cool.
Nice.
And each
Yeah.
one got better, man. Each one got better
Mhm.
than the last one. Like so good because the first one was good. It was a really good, solid action one. The second one was like, oh man, like even the cinematography, the filmmaking was so much better. And then the third one was just like a branch and a step, like continuously doing what the second one did. So John Wick.
And the spin-off is also coming with
Ballerina.
Artemis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
that should be good. For my queue, I guess with the new one coming out, well, the next 2 coming out, I recommend Mission Impossible the series.
Skip the second one.
Yeah, skip the second one. If you've already familiar with the series, at least watch the last one to get you hyped for the new one coming out.
Mhm.
Actually, skip the first one too. Just go to the third one.
But it has Emilio. Emilio.
Mighty Duck, man! I swear to God.
The flying V.
Okay.
Okay, speaking of that, Mighty Ducks, they had a TV show where they try to revitalize a franchise. I remember I saw the first episode, I want to say, and I was like, no, never went back. It's a franchise that didn't need to come back. It did not need to come back.
Yeah.
I pre-noped that series. I pre-noped it.
Nope. But on that note, thank you for watching another episode of Not a Strong Start. Please subscribe, like, share, comment on our YouTube channel, Not a Strong Start. You can listen to us to anywhere you get your podcast. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, Not a Strong Start. I'm your host, Daniel de Sangre. You can follow me at King_Sangre.
Jose in space, and you can find me at This Is Mi Nombre on Instagram.
I'm Emilio, and you can find me at ChadRadwell12.
Yeah, you can. And please let us know in the comments if this is a franchise that should keep going or if we should.
No! Imagine everybody's like, no. Yeah,
Knowing our fans, they'll tell us yes to rage quit.
Yeah.
No.